point slope and slope intercept worksheet. Sketch the graph of each line. Let's take a look at our formula that we've been using, y equals mx plus b. The m here stands for slope, and the b stands for the y-intercept. So we're going to use these to sketch our graph. Let's begin with the y-intercept right here. It's a -2, so I'm going to look carefully at the graph, and I'm going to see that that's where it's located. Then I'm going to use what we learned for m, which is our slope, rise over run. So I'm going to look at how it's written, 4/3, and I'm going to rise, count up to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to run to the right because it's positive 3 spots. So 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to just connect the lines and sketch out just like that. And remember, we have arrows at the ends because it's continuous. Number 3 is another type of problem of the same type of problem, but this one just has a whole number. So we're going to do the -5 the same as we did before. Here's our y-intercept, and then we're going to look at our slope, and we're going to add, for the run, since it's a whole number, we're going to have a 6 on top, and then we're going to put a 1 for the run, because every whole number has a 1 under it. Okay, so again, we're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to run across 1 to the right, because it is positive. If it was negative, we'd go to the left, but since it's positive, we go to the right, and then we just do our best to connect the two and draw our arrows. Find the slope of the line through each pair of points. So all we need to do is find slope. So we're going to use our formula, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Then we need to label our points, x, y. We're going to say this one's number 2 and this one's number 1. You can switch it. Just go ahead and make sure that you label so that you don't get them mixed up. Okay, and here let's substitute. So my y2, I'm getting it from right here, 18. Then my formula says minus, and I'm going to then get my y1 right here, and it happens to be negative. So I'm going to make sure and add the negative, just like that. I can't pick between the two. I have to put both the minus from the equation and the negative from right there. Now that they're together, it's going to become plus. So I'm going to just make that nice and neat and put plus. Okay, then x2, which is -6, minus from the equation x1, which is also a negative number, so I'm going to put -3. Then I'm going to go ahead and combine that for a plus. 18 plus 1 is 19. -6 plus 3 is a -3. And I want to point out this whole entire slope is negative, so I'm going to make sure and write it just like that. It's not the 3 that's negative. It's not the 19 that's negative. It's the entire 19/3 that's negative. Okay, the slope of each line. Now we just have a line on a graph here. We don't have any kind of equation. So we're going to kind of work backwards. We're going to go and look for those points that perfectly cross right through the intersections on our graph, and they are marked right there. So it doesn't matter which one, just pick 2 of them. We're going to go with this one and this one, and we're going to do the same thing that we've done for slope, which is rise over run. And let's identify that, okay? we're going to say the rise is going to be purple, so between these two, up and down is 2, and the run across, we're going to the right, so that's positive, it's only 1. So that's going to simplify total for us. My slope equals just 2. That's it. For this one, we have the equation written in point-slope form. I'm sorry, in slope-intercept form. And the reason is because this is the slope right here. This is the slope. And this is the y-intercept. That's what this is called, mx plus b, slope-intercept form. So just write slope equals and write the slope, and then you're done. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line given the slope and the y-intercept. So this time we are doing slope-intercept form, but the slope and the intercept is given to us. Now we just need to write the equation. So again, we're still using y equals mx plus b, and we're just substituting. Y equals -4 is my slope, so I'm substituting that in. X plus the b, which is 2. That's it. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation of each line. So we're going to write out the whole entire equation. We need the slope. We need the y-intercept. And here's where I'm going to write my equation. And I'm going to keep in mind that that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so for slope, I'm going to be using rise over run. I'm going to identify 2 points. So I'm going to say right there and right there. And I'm going to do rise. Between them is 1, 2, 3 spots. And the run between them is only 1. So I'm going to say that my slope is 3. And for my y-intercept, I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to look carefully. That is where the line is crossing the y-intercept. And if I'm checking to see my values here, they're going by ones. So that right there is a -1. So my final answer, y equals m, which is my slope, 3x. It's not a plus this time, it's a minus. So I'm going to put -1. And that's all. Okay, for this next problem, you're going to want to look at your star algebra reference materials in case you've forgotten. They are glued to the back of your journal. Write the point slope form of the equation of the line through the given point with the given slope. So here's a point that we're given, here's our slope that we're given, and we need to write the point slope form. Let's copy that down from our reference materials. Alright, so y minus y sub 1 equals m, open parentheses, x minus x sub 1, close parentheses. So all we have to do is plug in this point and this slope into this equation, and it looks like this. Y minus y1, here's my y1 and x1, equals, what does this become? Plus, so let's make it nice and neat, plus my m, my slope is a -1, open parentheses x, my x sub 1 is over here, and that's it. That is my point slope form. Write the point-slope form of the equation of the line through the given points. So this time they still want us to do point-slope form, but they're giving us 2 points. So first we have to find the slope part. We have the point part, we just need the slope part. So remember, sorry about that. So we have the point part, we're looking for the slope part. We need to do rise. Sorry guys, my pen is not letting me write correctly. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1. That's our point slope way of finding our slope first. Way of finding our slope first. And once we have our answer to our slope, then we can pick a point, any of these points here, take them plus the slope here, and I can write out my point slope form equation. Write the point slope intercept form of the equation of the line through the given point with the given slope. So this time we need the slope intercept form of the equation. So for this one, it's going to be a little bit different. This is where it really comes in handy to look at your star reference materials, because you can easily see here's your slope intercept form, here's your point slope form, here's the slope of the line, everything that you need in case you forget which one's which. Okay, so now that we have that sorted out, we're going to use the points that we have right here and the slope on this one. And we need to first put them into the point slope form because we don't have our y-intercept yet. So let's go ahead and write point slope form because that's what we were given. And let's write the formula. Y minus y1 equals m, open parentheses, x minus x sub 1. Then we're going to go ahead and substitute each one. So let's label our points. And let's go in and substitute. So y minus negative, which becomes plus 5 equals m, which is my slope, 8, open parentheses, x minus negative 1. My x sub 1 is negative, so it becomes plus. Okay, now we're just going to solve the equation, and once we do, we get everything onto the right side, y by itself. That's going to give me my slope intercept form. So I'm going to do y plus 5. I'm going to copy that because I need to distribute first. Make sure you distribute the 8 across to both sides right here. So I have 8x plus 8. Now I just need to subtract 5 from both sides. I have y equals 8x plus 3. And that's my final answer, and that is in slope intercept form. Alright, number 21, write the slope intercept form of the equation of the line through the given points. So we're doing the same kinds of things that we did on the first page. We're taking the 2 points. We're going to be using the slope of a line equation, which is the one that has m equals and y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. We're going to be finding our slope. Then, once you have your slope, you're going to pick a point, any point that you want. Put it into point slope form. Then you're going to solve to get it to slope intercept form. Okay, so here's your steps. You need slope first, point slope form second. When you solve it, you will get your answer, slope intercept form.